Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Justin here. Wanted to chat with you today about how to get an item relisted on the Canadian market, particularly for all those private label sellers, those that do private label Amazon selling in the United States. We all know that the Amazon U.S. market is the biggest market, and I think in ranking order, it's U.S. and then Germany. I believe Japan is pretty much up there as well. Shockingly, we sell in Japan. We've had some really good success out there. UK, and then you have some of the other smaller markets in Europe. And then Canada is kind of up there. And what's really good is Canada is really starting to grow. Recently, they just started product listing ads in Canada, which is great because otherwise you have to do other means of trying to get your product not just relisted, but, ranking for those popular keywords in the Canadian market. So I'm starting to see an increase in demand in the Canadian market, which is great. I've gotten a lot of questions on how to get a product relisted in the Canadian market. So I'm going to show you just really quickly how to go through that process. But I've also had some other questions on, well, what are the advantages, disadvantages of Canada? So I'm going to talk to you guys about that for just a quick second too. First of all, advantages. For me, I'm really big when it comes to diversification, diversifying your cash flows, expansion, things of that nature. And, it does make sense to a degree to say, all right, well, I already have the product. I already, have gone through the whole process of sourcing it. I have my supplier. When you're getting started, you don't have to send, let's say you've already, gotten your product listed. You've in the United States, you've gotten quite a number of sales. You're doing just fine. And you just want to expand. You just want to test out the market. You don't have to send, 100, 200, 300 items. You can literally send just 50 items to the UK, or not to the UK. You can do it to the UK if you wanted to, but specifically to the Canadian market, and just test it out to see what can happen. It's not difficult to get reviews up there, and we have some different strategies that we've used in the past. Whereas for one of my products, I have close to 35, 40 reviews for one of my products in Canada. So getting reviews really isn't as difficult as people make it out to be. There's just a little bit of digging and some outreach that you have to do. So I wouldn't dispel that as one of the ways where, should discourage me from going into Canada. There are some challenges to going into Canada, but I've had some decent success in Canada, and it's just another way for you to expand your cash flows a little bit more in other marketplaces. The disadvantages, a couple things. One disadvantage that I've seen is that they have a hefty fee for weight charges. So an FBA weight fee. So that's essentially the shipping charges that they're essentially charging the seller. And in this instance, I think for us, it costs me about $3.75 per unit. Compare that to the United States, where that same item is going to cost you close to 63 cents. That's like 5-6 times more expensive. So you're going to have to really increase the actual sales price of your product. Personally, if I have a product that's listed in the United States for I'd say $8 or $9, I'm going to have to list it in Canada for, let's say, 12, 13, even $14, if you will. So that is one thing you do have to factor in. The other thing is that I guess not disadvantage, but something else you also have to consider is that when you're sending your product and your items to Canada, you do have to worry a little bit about the taxes and going through that process. But in order to get started in Canada, you don't have to get registered with a business number. You don't have to worry about that yet. It is important. You should do that at some point, but that's not necessarily a requirement to expand into Canada. All you need is your tax ID here in the United States. You definitely need that. You need your business information and just all the other standard info that you have, and that's really it. The other thing that you have to do is you have to get brand registered. You can't just be brand registered in the United States and not in Canada. I'm telling you, becoming brand registered in Canada, it will make your life a whole lot easier. Just get it done. It's very simple, very similar to what you did to get brand registered in the United States. And then once you've done that, your product is listed in the United States, you can then go ahead and expand your listing and then start sending inventory the same way you do in the United States. You do it the same way here in Canada. So I'm gonna walk you through really quickly how I do it. It's very, very straightforward. I just go to the inventory. You can see I have some inventory, some products here. I'm not going to show you all the products, but I have some here. I go to inventory, add a product. And you can go here and say, find it on Amazon. You can search via ASIN or UPC code. Do not do it this way. This is not the correct way to do it. If you do it this way instead, where you create a new product, Amazon will automatically find it and auto-populate your offer for you. So I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So I go to create a product, scroll down, go to kitchen, click on the kitchen category. Great. Then I come here to the product name. I go to the first one, it auto-populates it for me. I know my brand, so I'm going to type that information in. Manufacturer, same as the brand. Part number, I'm just going to leave that one blank for now. Select node. Let's scroll down. Let's see here. Let's go to home, kitchen. I'm just going to pick a random bakeware bar. Let's go that. All right, cool. So I've gotten all that information in. I think the reason why it's not auto-populating yet, let's see here, 526103. I think that's what it is. I need to put that part number in. Let's put that. Let's say it's black. So let's see here. Give it a second, and it should auto-populate any time now. Let's see here. Do I have all the information in? Manufacturer number. Yep, that's correct. Baseball, that's correct. So let's say, for example, you weren't able to, it didn't auto-populate. That's perfectly fine. You can just go in here and just literally copy and paste all the information that you had in your other listing in the United States and copy all that information in here. So you're going to put your product name, your brand name, your manufacturer part number. You may also go to your, to the more details tab. And you may also put in, let's see here, you want to look for the catalog number. So I'll put in 526103. Boom, got that in there. And trying to see if it's going to auto-populate. I don't think it will across. It does do this if you're located, let's say if you're in the UK and you're doing the same process in the UK and you're trying to relist. Oh, here it goes. It finally found it. Great. So you can see here, it literally found the global SKU offer. And I can just, instead of going back and edit, I can select and update global offer. And now it auto-populates that information for me, which is beautiful. It will pull in the UPC code, the manufacturer number, all the critical info that you need. However, it will not pull in your images. It will not pull in your description. It won't pull in your keywords and also your more details information. Some of it, but none of it actually. So you personally have to go in there and put all that information in, but this is a good process for you to go through. And once you've done that, that's really it. You then hit save. And then when you're ready to send your inventory, let's say you've reached out to your suppliers, or you have some additional inventory sitting at your house and you want to send it over, you go to your tab. Let's go back to Amazon services. Let's go to manage inventory. And then I go back to that product itself. I go to edit and set, let's see here, send replenish inventory. Click on that, and you go through the same process that you went through when you were getting your product first listed in the United States. Gang, that is really all you have to do. The other thing you do have to consider is that when your inventory is finally being shipped to Canada, you have to really stay on top of it, because a lot of times they require you to pay for the customs fee, which really, it shouldn't be that much. It's usually about $20-25. But you just have to make certain you set your alerts, whether you're getting it shipped via FedEx or DHL or UPS. Just make certain that you're getting that information. You're constantly staying on top of them. and you can reach out to them so that when it does get shipped, you can pay it. It gets released from customs via Air Express, and you're good to go. And that's it. That's really all I had to say. Of course, the other piece is the Canadian dollar, I believe, is higher than the US dollar. So if you're getting $100 from Canada directly deposited into your account, that might be like $90 in the US. So that's the only other thing. I'm sure I missed something. I'm sure there's a couple other nuances that I'm missing, but I just wanted to put together this quick video and show everyone that, this process is really straightforward. It's not difficult to expand into the Canadian market. Maybe in the future I'll have an even more detailed video, but I hope this was helpful. Shoot me an email or reach out to me if you have any questions. I really hope this was helpful. Talk to you soon. Take care.